this is Melody Fletcher with Deliberate Receiving, and this is another Law of Attraction video. Now, at the core of what we do with this Law of Attraction work is how we feel. It's our emotions. And most people try to avoid negative emotions, try to squash them or get away from them. They think that there's something bad. But what our emotions really are is just a feedback system that lets us know in any given moment if what we're thinking about ourselves or the world is serving us, it's getting us closer to who we really are and everything that we want, or it's pushing us further away from that. And when it's pushing us further away from what we want, we experience negative emotion. So I thought that I would create a little series where each video I delve into another negative emotion and try to explain what kinds of messages that negative emotion may be sending you, what kinds of beliefs can be causing that emotion. And today I'd like to start with envy and jealousy. Now, what exactly is the difference between envy and jealousy? Aren't they the same thing? Well, no, they're not. Envy and jealousy are triggered by the same stimuli, which is that you see something that you want. You see somebody else who has something that you want. But the core causes, the beliefs that cause either one of those are vastly different. And so in order to treat those beliefs and release them, you have to separate envy from jealousy. What is jealousy? Jealousy is when you see somebody else who has something that you want, and it triggers the belief that because they have this thing, it has now diminished your chances of getting that. So there's only one pie, and everybody that has a piece of pie now diminishes your chances of getting a piece of that pie. Jealousy is generally tied to two core beliefs. The first one is the scarcity, that there is a finite amount of resources out there, and everybody that gets a little piece of that is diminishing your chance of getting some as well. And that's a false belief, because everything is just energy, and energy simply expands. We're not going to run out of resources to get you what you really want. But I will delve into that in another video, because that's a whole nother big issue. The second issue that causes jealousy is it's a control issue. It's you having decided that what you really want has to come to you in a specific way. So let me give you an example. You have a car dealership, so you sell cars, and you've decided that you want to be rich. You've set an intention to be wealthy. And you think, well, in order to be wealthy, I have to sell a lot of cars. The more cars I sell, the more money I make. Now, you have a rival car dealership across the road from you, and every time you see them selling a car, you get a pang of jealousy. You get angry. You want to just go over and bop him in the face. Why? Because every car that he sells, obviously, is one less customer out there that you can sell to. So obviously, he's sucking up all of the clients. Even if you had a severely limited number of customers that are going to buy cars, to the point where this guy could actually saturate the market with his one dealership, which is highly unlikely, you still have to address the underlying control belief, which is saying that in order for you to get rich, the only way that you can get rich is for you to sell a bunch of cars. So this is the only channel that you're willing to allow the money to come to you through. Now, the universe has an infinite number of ways to bring you what you want. It's not restricted to this car dealership. You're the one who's creating that restriction. And in thinking that this is the only way that it can bring you the money, and that this chance is somehow being diminished by this other person, when you see him selling cars, your jealousy is being triggered. But it's not actually him selling cars that's causing the negative emotion. The negative emotion is being caused by the control issues and the beliefs of scarcity. So what is envy? Well, envy is also triggered by you seeing somebody else having something that you want. But it doesn't have to do with scarcity and control. It has to do with an underlying issue of unworthiness. It's basically you believing that you can't get whatever it is that you want. So let's say that you are a bit overweight and you want to lose some weight. You want to get thin. So when you see somebody else who is thin, it's not jealousy. You don't think that they're somehow taking away your thinness. And if you are, then that's, quite an irrational belief. But generally, we have an easier time understanding the scarcity issue when it comes to something arbitrary like thinness rather than something material like cars or money. So this other girl in the street being thin isn't going to diminish your chances of being thin. But it still makes you feel bad. Why? Because as you see her walking down the street and she's all skinny, it triggers the belief that you have, maybe that you cannot also be thin. You cannot lose weight. You have no control over your body. You are powerless against this weight. You're always going to be fat. These are horrible, horrible thoughts. And it's these thoughts that are causing the negative emotion, not her thinness. You could also be envious of somebody who has money because you have an underlying belief that you don't deserve to be rich, or that being rich is bad. So what you have on the one hand is you want this thing, you want the money, you want to be thin, but you have a belief that is saying you can't have it, you don't deserve it, it's not going to happen for you. And that creates a clash, it creates a discord. And it's this discord that's causing your negative emotion. So when you experience jealousy or envy, or even both at the same time, dig down deep into it and try to figure out what thoughts you're thinking in that moment that are actually causing that negative emotion. Because it isn't just that you're a horrible person, you don't want other people to have nice things. There is a deep-rooted belief in there somewhere that can be released, and once it's released, you're not going to experience that negative emotion anymore. Not only that, but you'll open up the energy, you'll open up the floodgates, and the universe will be able to bring you what it is that you want. I hope that this video was helpful to you. If you would like to have some help from me personally releasing those negative beliefs, I do have coaching available. Please check out my site. If you're watching this on YouTube, the link is in the description. Otherwise, huge happy shiny puppy hugs to all of you out there, and thank you so much for watching.